teacher.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. So I see that you have the same problem that you did last week, I think, or one of these weeks, that you were late from another subject. Is it that true that you were late because you were in another class?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
We are
teacher.
Okay, I see. So try to recall your teacher that you got class
The teacher
immediately
never
after
ends the
her.
class, teacher. Sorry.
Okay, it's not your fault. Okay, so we need to be aware of the time. So I was waiting for you so we can start this class, the first of the week, and I hope that you are full of energy and also with a lot of willingness to participate in every single thing that I ask. Today's topic is going to be very simple because we worked it last year. I know that the conditions were not the best, but I think that you learned something, and also you took an evaluation of root words, affixes, and prefixes. Last year we did. So now I'm gonna start by presenting something for you so you can help me with the class. So there we go. So if you have your books, if you have your spotlights on literature E, I want you to open it to page 16 and 17. This is where we're gonna work today. If you don't have it, if you don't have your book, you can also take some screenshots. Also, the guide is gonna be there in the Santillana Compartiers platform. You can get all of this material. Good morning to everybody who's greeting me in the chat. Good morning, good morning. So like I said, if you don't have the book, you can also look the resources on Santillana Compartir in the English class. And this class is gonna be recorded and uploaded in YouTube so you can't miss a thing. Let me share the agenda with you. So we're gonna reflect a little bit on the value of sincerity, and then we're gonna go over the lesson in your books or in this platform. So I need someone to help me, please, reading the quotation. Anybody?
Me.
Okay, thank you.
Sincerity seems to be a problem for some people these days, but I prefer to be hated than be a false person who tells lies.
Okay, thank you. Oh, strong words, very strong words. So what do you think, guys, about it? I will listen to 3 or 4 opinions so we can move on. And it's so true. Those words are so true. Anybody wants to say something about the subject, about the topic? We are 105 in here. How is it possible that nobody wants to volunteer? Okay, Alison, please. Diana, please. I see that you raise your hand. Or you're having some trouble with the mic.
I can help you if you want.
Okay, please.
Okay. I think that sometimes we use the lies. We lie because we want to be like good, to a good perception of the other person. Not to like, how do you say, incluir, estar incluido, pertenecer, join a team, for example.
Fit in. Fit in.
Okay, fit in. But also we have to be careful, because for me it's worse, es peor. How do you say es peor? It's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse It's worse a true with a bad intention than a lie with a good
Mhm.
intention, because sometimes we use the truth but with a bad intention. For example, there are a lot of examples, but that is my opinion. Only
All
that.
right. Thank you so much. And your opinion is so valuable. Well, Daniel Enriquez says we have to stay true, or our ideals and opinion is better than being loved for something we're not. Good. Then Melissa said we have to accept our mistakes. And Daniel says it's loud around so I can speak. Okay, okay, Daniel, I understand that it's so loud, yeah, around your home, in your house. So you can open the microphone. I understand that. So I said that Lourdes, so Lourdes raised her hand. Wasn't it true or was an accident?
Um, I think that I prefer that they do not accept me or do not love me as I am, that than that they accept me for what I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
It will be like pretending that everything is how others want,
Mm-hmm.
like a
Yeah,
fake person.
yeah, and you don't want to be fake, right? You want to be real. Okay, thank you very much, Lourdes. Then Angela said, for me, it's that someone prefers to be a true person and not tell lies, even if they are strong words and can hurt well, it can hurt another person rather than be a fake person. You're totally right. All of you have said something interesting because nowadays people say to themselves that they want to be surrounded by sincere people, but deep inside it's not true because we don't like to hear the truth from other one's lips. That's why being sincere, being honest, which by the way, parenthesis, being sincere doesn't mean to be rude. It doesn't mean to be mad, I mean to be mean, because sometimes you said the things that can be offensive to others. Telling the truth is just to come clean. You gotta come clean to other people, and but it's a problem because people comes to hate you. People come to hate you because you are telling them the truth, and you are doing this because you want that people grow, because there's no way that you grow if you don't receive criticism um, with an open attitude. Watching says yes, teacher, because true without empathy is just cruelty. Wow, that's a very profound quotation. True without empathy is just cruelty. You don't have to be mean. You have to be respectful every time that you come clean with other people, even though you can be hated for telling the truth, but at least you will have your conscience clear that you're not a fake friend. You're gonna be a good friend. So I said that Monica raised her hand. Monica.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to tell that, as my partner say, I think it's better to tell the truth than a white lie just to look good. You never
Mhm.
know if that white lie may end up doing more harm than the truth to correct.
Yes, it's true. And there's no such thing like white, black, gray, green lies. A lie is a lie. We have those white lies, and also we have Facebook lies, which is totally different. But there's no way to classify or categorize lies. A lie is a lie, right? Big or small is the same thing, like Lourdes said, right? Small or big is the same lie. So you have to be sincere, no matter what the circumstances are. If you think that people is gonna be resentful of what you're saying, is because they're not open enough. They're not open enough. They're kind of close-minded, narrow-minded, like they say, and they have to receive, and we have to receive constructive criticism with the best attitude possible. Otherwise, we will never learn as human beings, as neighbors, as citizens, as whatever you want to say. So I see that you have it clear. The difference is made by the way you are sincere. Yeah, this is what Monica says here in the chat. Anybody else wants to add something to all of the participations we have here and read as well? No, no more opinions. I like when you give your points of view, because I see that you got a great perspective of life. You understand all of these concepts, and I really hope that you put them into practice so you can become better people. Let me see. Mireli says facing life with this value will help us to be trustworthy people. And this is the purpose, Mireli, to be trustworthy all the time, all the time. Okay, well, now we're gonna move to the class, to the topic, and root words. I also use the same slide like I did last year because it's the same topic, you know. I have to recycle the material. Root words. So anybody who wants to help me out reading the definition here?
Hi, teacher.
Okay, please.
A root word is a word or word part that can form the basis of new words. Through the addition of prefix and suffix, root words can stand alone.
Examples?
Examples: act, shape, happy, correct, and friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Remember that a root word is a word or a part of a word that is basically the basis of different words. They can stand their own. I mean, they have meaning by their own, and they don't need prefixes and suffixes to mean something. But with the help, of the adjustment of some prefixes and suffixes, they can change their meaning. Prefixes are not full words. They contain meaning, yeah, but they don't have complete meanings. I mean, affixes are divided into many different fixes, like prefixes, suffixes, infixes. So we have a lot of affixes around, but we're gonna concentrate, we're gonna focus only in the two that we studied last year. Prefixes that goes before, like the prefix itself mean, because pre-affix. Pre-affix mean is an affix that goes before, that goes at the beginning. And suffix goes at the end of the root word. We also learned something about that last year. But I don't know if you have questions about root words, prefixes, and suffixes. Do you have questions? Do you remember this topic clearly? Because it's not complicated. You just need to remember. No? All right, let's move to the examples here. So you see it's illustrated like a tree because we're talking about roots. We have those roots, like I said, they have meaning their own, by their own, right, act, play, tie, agree, read, joy, view. They are complete words. They can stand alone. They can stand by themselves, and they are complete meanings. You understand every single word in the list. With the usage of prefixes and suffixes, you can modify, you can enrich the meaning of the root words. Like I said, prefixes are affixes that are used to modify the root words. They have meanings. Remember last year we studied the meanings of prefixes. Re, for example, means again. Repeat, replay. Can you do it again? Or pre means before, right? Before. Previous is a view that goes before. On means no, like the suffix as well. They have their own meanings that you probably remember, that there's an storage in your brain that storage all that information, but you just have to go there, open it, and using it again, because the knowledge is there somewhere in your brains. And then we're gonna move to a video. So if my explanation was not clear enough, I have chosen. I looked up a video on the internet with a better looking teacher with a better pronunciation and fluence than me, so you can probably understand her better. I will share the video with you.
Hey there! Welcome to this video on root words, prefixes, and suffixes. Many of the words we speak in English are made up of Latin and Greek words, but we have added prefixes and suffixes to them. Prefixes and suffixes are known as affixes. The original word before you add the affixes is known as a root word. A root word can stand on its own as a complete word. For example, the word reform. Re is the prefix and form is the root word. Form by itself is still a word. A root, on the other hand, does not typically make up a complete word on its own. For example, transmit. The trans is the prefix meaning across, and mit is the root meaning to send. Mit by itself is not a complete word. Now, let's take a look at what prefixes and suffixes actually are. Words can be long and difficult at times, but understanding root words and the affixes can help you to understand the meaning of those long words and make them less scary. New words can be made by adding a prefix before or a suffix after a root or a root word. When an affix is added before the root or root word, it is called a prefix. A helpful way to remember this is by looking at the word prefix itself. Pre means before, and a prefix comes before the root or root word. A prefix often changes the meaning of a word. For instance, the word usual just means that something is customary or habitual. However, when you add the prefix un, meaning not or opposite of, to the beginning of it, it changes the meaning of the word. Now we have the word unusual, which means that something is not usual, not common, or is rare. Prefixes have definitions of their own, so when we add them onto a root or root word, we have to understand that the meaning of the word has now been modified. Now, an affix that is added to the end of a root or root word is called a suffix. Unlike a prefix, a suffix typically does not change the meaning of the word, at least not in a major way. Instead, a suffix typically adds more specification. For instance, if I say that someone is tall, you think of a person who is above the average or normal height. However, when I say someone is taller, I'm letting you know that someone is tall in comparison to another person, but they may not be tall in general. Take a look. Mark is tall. Mark is taller than Jeff. The meaning of the word is still referring to the height of a person or an object, but adding the suffix has changed the specification. A suffix can add plurality, which just means that there are more than one of something. The most popular suffixes are s and es. These are examples of suffixes that add plurality. I actually just did this with the word suffix. When I say suffix, I'm letting you know that there's only one. But when I say suffixes, I've added plurality, letting you know that there are more than one. Words can have a prefix, root or root word, and a suffix all in one. Let's take a look at an example. Destruction. De is the prefix meaning opposite. Struct is the Latin root meaning to build. And ion is the suffix meaning act or process. Understanding the meaning of prefixes, root or root words, and suffixes helps us to understand the proper meaning of a word. With our definition of prefix, root, and suffix in the word destruction, we can see that the opposite of building is happening. There are thousands of roots and root words out there that are used in the English language. There are less prefixes and suffixes combined than there are roots and root words. Practice finding the prefixes, roots, and root words and suffixes in the words you use in class and at home. The more you practice, the easier it will be for you to understand the meaning of words that you've never even heard before. I hope that this video on prefixes, roots, and root words and suffixes has been helpful for you. Be sure to check out
So now let's move to your books. Like I said, I will gonna complete some exercises on page 17 in your spotlights. So the first exercise is identifying the root words from the list you have in here. You have to read it out loud and identify the root. Letter A, electrical. The root word is electric. B, unable. E, the root is able. For letter C, freezer, freeze. For D, careless, care. In E, precaution is caution. Sincerely, the root word is sincere. Then in letter G, talk. H is read. Unreadable. They got a prefix and suffix as well, but the root is here. Read. Unworth it. The root word is worth. Runner, run. Mention it, mention. And plot, plotter, plot. Then in letter or in number 2, construct a word family of 4 words for each one. So using the different prefixes and suffixes, you have to construct different words. For the word love, I can think of lovely, lover, loving. For decide, decision, deciding, decided. For write, written, writing, etc. For profession, unprofessional, professional. Walk, walking, walker. Light, lighter. Highlight, highlighting. For health, healthy, unhealthy. For dark, darkness, darky. And in number 3, you have to identify prefix and suffix of the each word. For example, unbearable has a prefix on and the suffix able.